Open, accessible, reliable, efficient. That is what Stellar Lumens is pushing right now. Stellar Lumens is on fire. And on today's video, we're going to talk about some of the recent updates and catch y'all up about what's been happening over the last few weeks. All right, let's dive in. PayPal USD is now available on Stellar. So we're talking about PayPal, this giant company that handles and does financial services. You heard of Venmo, you heard of PayPal. This is what it is. So PYUSD is a PayPal-backed stablecoin that is now officially being used on Stellar Lumens. That's a great partnership. This announcement just came out. And let's dive into it. Expanding PayYUSD to the Stellar network is an excellent step toward making stable, trusted digital dollars more accessible and useful worldwide. At Bitcoin.com, our mission is to give people the tools to engage in crypto simply and securely, whether it's saving, payments, or everyday transactions. By supporting PYUSD on Stellar, we're enabling millions of users to enjoy fast, low-cost transfers while strengthening the role of stablecoins in real-world payments. This was the CEO of Bitcoin.com. And then this is what we're going to focus on here. PayPal's USD on Stellar helps businesses by delivering near immediate settlement and reducing friction in everyday transactions while giving smaller businesses additional access to PayFi. That's a payment solution for businesses. Small and medium-sized businesses that often deal with delayed payments or upfront costs will be able to tap into real-time working capital issued in PayYUSD. That funding can go towards paying suppliers, stocking inventory, or handling other operational needs with near instant settlement on Stellar. Liquidity providers can participate by backing these opportunities and earning potential returns linked to real economic activity. Fully backed one-to-one with USD deposits, US Treasuries, and similar cash equivalents, and regulated by New York State Departments of Financial Services, PayYUSD furthers adds to making sending, receiving, and managing payments on the Stellar network simple and reliable. Why is this important? Again, everybody, I went to a food carts recently, right? To a festival, rather. Everyone was accepting Venmo. It was like cash, Venmo, cash, Apple Pay, right? Cash, Venmo, Apple Pay. The three main payments. And then Venmo, which is owned by PayPal, is getting major volume, okay? So Stellar being used to handle payments on PayYUSD is a smart move, okay? Let's check this out right here. With nearly 10 million accounts and 20 billion in total operations to date, Stellar is a proven network for innovation and payments, okay? It can handle the payload. That's basically what I'm getting at. And PayPal is recognizing that from the very beginning, as you see in this quote here. Having global leader like PayPal bring PYUSD to the Stellar network is a major step forward in how stablecoins can power real-world payments. Everything is about tokenization. Everything is about payments right now. How can we get the money fast as possible, spend the money fast as possible? That's where we at. And obviously Stellar is in position. The next big story here. Red Swan Digital Real Estate brings tokenized real estate to the Stellar network. Okay, so this is what's important here. How Red Swan and Stellar unlock access to real estate investments. So here we go. Near instant and streamlined asset issuance. Issuing the assets is easily. We talked about this before previously. GDP data from the United States on the Stellar blockchain, okay? Access to diversified real world assets, right? They're whipping and mixing the pot, basically. And then here's the benefits, again, that I think is most important to talk about is the benefits. Why would they do this? Tokenization of real-world assets on Stellar offers significant advantages, including fractional ownership of high-quality institutional-grade assets, local currency access via MoneyGram, and we talked about that before. MoneyGram is everywhere. You probably used it, especially if you're a foreigner sending money back home. 24/7 liquidity to meet changing demand of global markets spanning across time zones. I'm in a different time zone, you're probably in a different time zone, but we still need to move the money. Faster capital formation by simply issuance and broadening access. So Red Swan is doing real estate on Stellar. Enough said about that. This headline here is about Circle. Circle CCTP V2 is coming to Stellar. So essentially this is cross-chain collaboration. So Circle's cross-chain transfer protocol is coming to the Stellar network. This will upgrade and enhance USDC transfers across Stellar's ecosystem, which already supports USDC natively, okay? So essentially, you can send Stellar to Ethereum, USD from Stellar to Ethereum, Ethereum back to Stellar, the Solana, the base. It can basically go everywhere. So like when you take USDC, you send it to Coinbase, you can withdraw that via Coinbase to other platforms for free. And now they're saying, without even going to an exchange, you just send it over and then that blockchain will read it, it will catch it, burn and mint you the USDC. Basically, you know, making everything efficient and easy to use with less confusion should be how it is, and that's what this thing is doing. Now, this one I thought was very interesting. Congratulations to Zero Hash X team on becoming a unicorn. Zero Hash powers access to XLM and USDC, enabling millions of customers to use XLM across platforms including Stripe, Tastytrade, Felix, Current, Transact, and Anchor USD. And why is this important? So just all the other stores, to use PayYUSD, to use Red Swan, to use the Circle transfers, you need the transaction fees to be paid in XLM, which is the Stellar main gas token, main transaction, the ecosystem token. So you need that to move USDC. And this startup has raised $104 million from Morgan Stanley, SoFi, Apollo, all the different banks, right, to push this narrative here, which is payments, where transactions move at the speed of ideas. So Zero Hash works with businesses, corporations for different solutions. So you have brokerage solutions, tokenization platforms, payroll, banks, and payment service providers. And if they're working with Stellar, Stellar is once again in the background. They have to buy XLM to make these transactions at the speed of ideas, as they say. And finally, Ondo's obviously tapping in with Stellar as well. Ondo's a leader in tokenization. So USDY, Ondo's flagship yield coin, is now live on Stellar. Stellar's expansive global market connects finance on-chain with real-world solutions. Now with USDY, it extends to real-world assets. Together, we're unlocking access to yield. So this is the tokenized U.S. treasuries now available on Stellar Lumens. And as we start to close out, this is a clip from Meridian 2025, the big event that was in Rio, and looks like they was cooking. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments below.
Now, ensuring openness, as I talked about, is really hard. This is where we all have to prove what we've learned from history. The future we're building, we're a seamless global financial system that serves everyone. It cannot belong to any one company. So this is a call to action for all of you. We have the blueprint, not only for the technology, but also for how we move forward. Every protocol that you build, make it interoperable. Every standard that you create, make it open. Every decision you make, ask whether it moves all of us forward and closer to openness or further away from it. If money and value is trapped, that actually harms all of us. And it doesn't actually support anything that we built. So this is our moment. This is our blueprint. Open, accessible, reliable, and efficient. Not just for what we built for now, but for what all of you and all of us are going to keep building. Design with purpose, build without compromise, and innovate everything. Remember, our collective future is in all of our hands. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'll see you next year in Abu Dhabi.
Passive income, gold in my dental. Thank God for my mental. Investor fundamentals. Told my girl it was simple.